We come from different experiences with different passions and different capabilities, and it is the combination of those things, the complement of all of those skill sets and personalities even that we bring to the table that allows us to accomplish the impossible.
AFP, this is Mission Control Houston. Please call station for a voice check.
Station, this is Antoine Boyer and Lucie Aubourg with AFP. Do you hear us? Can you hear us? Yeah.
Hello. Hello. Yes, I hear you loud and clear. How about me?
Perfect. Thank you. Hello, Jessica Watkins. Thank you so much for having us. Where are you right now, and can you describe your surroundings?
Yes, absolutely. So I am in the Columbus module, which is in the forward starboard portion of the ISS. The Columbus module is the European Space Agency module. And so I am surrounded here by lots of different experiments that are in work. We have an ultrasound machine hooked up over here, several different laptops that have experiments running, as well as lots of stowage that allows us to complete those experiments.
A lot of people talk about the so-called overview effect, how seeing this very thin atmosphere make you realize how fragile Earth is. I was wondering if you experienced it.
Yes, it's certainly very easy to see from this perspective how, as you mentioned, how fragile the Earth is, how fragile our ecosystem and atmosphere is. But I think for me as well, the overview effect has expanded to kind of confirm for me the importance of being able to work together as an international, in terms of international cooperation, being able to draw on each other's resources and experiences and expertise and use our differences instead of focusing on what makes us different, using what makes us different to accomplish something that we otherwise would not be able to accomplish. Being able to be a part of that and experience that from the ISS, I think is a different aspect of the overview effect that has really had an effect on me.
I must ask, how is the view?
I'm sorry, can you repeat the last one?
How is the view from the ISS? How do you feel when you look out of the window?
Oh, yes.
How do you feel when you look out of the window?
Absolutely. The view is just absolutely spectacular. The Earth is so beautiful. There are certain parts of the world, especially that we start to recognize just by the color palette alone, and just being able to see all of these gorgeous places on Earth, and be able to see the Earth as the planet that it is. Be able to see its the Earth limb and how spherical the Earth actually is. Being able to take all that in from this perspective is absolutely amazing, particularly for me as a geologist. It's just an amazing perspective to be able to have.
You are a young Black woman that made it to space. How inspiring is that? And was that part of your dream when you were a child to go to space and be an astronaut?
Yes, so I certainly expressed a desire or a dream to be an astronaut from a pretty young age, and was something that I kind of had in the back of my mind as something that I wanted to pursue, but honestly was not something I ever really thought would truly happen. So to be able to be here today is a true honor and privilege to see that dream come true. And certainly, for me, I am so grateful for all of those who have come before me, so that the women and Black astronauts who have paved the way to enable me to be here today, and I believe that's a testament as well to the exciting future ahead as NASA looks towards the Artemis program and heading to the moon and Mars. I'm just grateful to be a small part of that legacy.
How would you describe yourself? Tell us, share with us 3 things people don't know about Jessica Watkins.
That's a tough question to answer. So I guess how I would describe myself would depend a little bit on the context. I would certainly call myself a geologist, a scientist, an astronaut as well, a mission specialist in this particular context, and a flight engineer. In terms of my personality, I think that my friends and close colleagues would say that I am easygoing, and hopefully my crewmates would say that I'm easy to be around and easy to live with.
You play rugby. You were part of the Women's Sevens Rugby World Cup with the US team in 2009, and you were a semi-finalist. Congratulations. And how was it? And is this experience helping you in any way with space work?
Yeah, absolutely. I really treasure my experience as a rugby player, both in college and then as on the national team as well. I think there are so many lessons that I was able to learn from my experience playing rugby. I think the biggest one is the importance of teamwork. I've already mentioned the incredible team of people that it takes both on the ground and up here to accomplish what we accomplish every day, to be able to facilitate the groundbreaking research and technology demonstrations that we are able to do up here on the ISS. What that requires is people with all different skill sets, backgrounds, and expertise using those resources together to accomplish something that they wouldn't be able to accomplish on their own. And that's definitely a lesson that I learned from the rugby pitch, from the rugby field, because in rugby, all of the members of a team all bring different skill sets and expertise to the table, but they are all necessary in order to be successful. And so that is definitely something that I carry with me up here.
Did you have a shifting moment in your life when you told yourself, wow, I need to be an astronaut. This is what I need to do?
Yeah, I think, like I kind of mentioned, I think it has been something that I've always desired and dreamed of, but never really fully allowed myself to believe that it could be a reality. I do think I did have a moment like that you're describing about being a geologist and being a planetary geologist in particular. I remember going to one of my first geology classes as an undergraduate and learning about the process of planetary accretion. So the process where small pieces of planetary debris in orbit around each other start to coalesce and create larger pieces of debris that, of course, then attract more debris. And that is what creates the planetary bodies that we have in our solar system now. And I remember learning about that process in that lecture and realizing then that that was what I wanted to do with the rest of my life and what I wanted to study.
You took off for the ISS in April 2022 on a SpaceX rocket. How did the launch feel like? Was it scary, exciting, incredible?
Incredible is definitely the right word for it, and exciting as well. Launch is this amazing event where it is both the culmination of all of our training and everything that leads up preparation for the mission, but then it also is at the same time this commencement, this beginning of this exciting mission that we're now a part of, and so kind of enjoying all of those emotions of being able to experience that culmination and that commencement all in one moment is pretty exciting.
Hi, Jessica. I'm Lucy with AFP. Can you hear me?
Yes, I have you loud and clear.
Great. So you've been in space for about 3 months already, doing maintenance on the space station and working on science experiments. Could you describe a typical day on the ISS? For example, how do you know you have to wake up, and how are your days organized between your different tasks?
Yeah, absolutely. And that may seem like a simple question, but in reality, it actually is a tough question because every day on the ISS is different. And that is one of the privileges and pleasures of being on the ISS, is that every day we get to stick our hands in a different cookie jar and get to be involved in a different project. But every day does start the same way. So we have a morning meeting morning conference where we touch base with all of our international partners across the world and make sure that everybody's on the same page and ready to start the day. And that allows us, kind of kicks us off and allows us to go into our different activities. And as you mentioned, there are lots of different things that are keeping us busy up here on the ISS. We have lots of science that we are accomplishing, especially with the arrival of the SpaceX 25 cargo Dragon that arrived a couple of weeks ago, brought with it lots of science for us to participate in. So we've been working on that, as well as maintenance, as you mentioned. That takes up some of our time as well, making sure that the station is healthy and up and running, and will be able to continue running through 2030. We also engage in outreach events like this one. And of course, then we have a bit of downtime built into our schedule as well, where we're able to connect with our family and friends on the ground, enjoy a meal together, and also, of course, look out the window.
So you'll be in the ISS for 6 months total, about 6 months. Do you get claustrophobic sometimes?
Luckily, that is not something that I have experienced yet. The ISS is actually quite spacious, in a relative sense at least, about the size of a 7-bedroom house, I believe. And it feels that way while we're up here. Each module kind of has its own purpose, and it takes on its own life a little bit. And so it does feel like we are able to move around, and especially in 3 dimensions. That helps create quite a bit of space as well, being able to utilize the ceilings and the walls to translate on.
Is it physically hard? Is it physically demanding to live on the ISS? I mean, is it tough on your body? And is it maybe tougher than you expected, or is it how you expected it to be?
Yeah, so while we're actually up here, it is actually quite easy on the body, in the sense that what we are actually feeling up here of course, is the weightlessness. And so because of that, we actually don't feel quite as much fatigue. We are able to work harder, work our muscles harder than we are able to on the ground. We seem to recover faster. However, we understand that what is actually happening in our bodies does have an effect when we come back to the ground. So we are working hard to make sure that we maintain our muscle and bone strength and health, so that when we return to gravity, our bodies are able to combat the new force of gravity while we adapt to the Earth conditions.
So, as you mentioned, the ISS is a big international cooperation, and Russia has decided to leave the ISS after 2024. I'm wondering, how did you hear about the news, and did you talk about it with your Russian colleagues currently on board the ISS?
Yeah, so my understanding is that there have been no new decisions about operating the ISS, and no constraints on continuing to operate the ISS through 2030. So we are continuing our operations as planned. We certainly have a great relationship with our Russian colleagues. We enjoy meals with them occasionally, and we are all focused on the missions that we came up here to accomplish, and we are working hard to accomplish those together.
Can you imagine, though, the ISS? So that's hypothetical, but can you imagine the ISS without the Russian cosmonauts? And I don't know, is it gonna feel a bit more lonely, and is it gonna be hard to operate it without them?
As we mentioned, the international cooperation that is built into the International Space Station is a big part of the importance of what we're doing here and the feasibility of what we're doing here as well. We are certainly dependent on our international partners to accomplish the things that we want to accomplish. And so we certainly will continue to press forward with our other international partners and be sure to accomplish the missions that we set out for ourselves in the future.
Let's talk about the moon. So the Artemis program will bring the first woman to the moon. Do you hope personally that you will go one day? And what will it take to be selected by NASA?
Yeah, we are all certainly super excited about NASA's Artemis programs, and even Artemis 1, the first mission, is scheduled to launch later this month, now that it is August. So that is super exciting as we start to kick off that Artemis program. And certainly for me, as a planetary geologist who has done a lot of research on Mars in particular, but other planetary surfaces, the idea, the notion of being able to be a part of an effort to actually do field work on the surface of another planetary body is super exciting, and I look forward to being a part of it.
So you're the first Black woman to be on a long-duration mission in the ISS, and NASA has also said that the Artemis program will bring the first person of color to the moon. Will this be an important step for NASA and for humanity, and why is this so important?
Yeah, I think it is an important milestone for the agency and the country and the world as well. I think the way that I see it is that representation is important. It is true that it is difficult to be what you can't see, and so I think providing a means of representation for young people of color, young girls, to be able to see themselves in contributing, see people who look like them with backgrounds like them, contributing in ways that they may aspire to contribute. I know for me that went a long way for me, was important to me growing up, and so I hope that the Artemis program, as we continue, will continue to do that.
You once said that Mars was particularly close to your heart, and I'm wondering if you had a choice between the two, would you rather go to the moon or wait and go to Mars?
Well, in that reality, I certainly would be happy to be given the option for either location. And I guess the answer to the question would be whichever comes first. I certainly would be just absolutely thrilled to be able to be a part of the effort to go to another planetary surface, whether it be the moon or Mars.
Jessica Watkins, it's Anton Boyer again. Two more questions. How do you define astronauts? How do you define yourself, I would say? Are you an explorer or pioneer? Are you a scientist, or are you both?
Yeah, I would say a bit of all of the above. I think, what makes us the same is also what makes us different in the sense that I think that each of us all have that sense of exploration and a desire to continue to push the limits of what humans are capable of, and I think that is something that unites us. But I think it is also important that we are all different in many ways as well. We come from different experiences with different passions and different capabilities, and it is the combination of those things, the complement of all of those skill sets and personalities even that we bring to the table that allows us to accomplish the impossible.
You've shown that sky is not the limit. What advice would you give your younger self with aspirations to go to space?
Yeah, I would definitely give the advice to my younger self and to young people today to find something that you are passionate about, whatever it is, and wake up in the morning every day and relentlessly pursue that. Find opportunities to explore it further. Find mentors, people who will support you and encourage you along the way, and don't take no for an answer. Continue to find ways to continue to pursue the thing that you are interested and passionate in, and don't be afraid to dream big. You'll never know when your dreams will come true.
Thank you so much. That was very inspiring.
Thank you so much for your time.
Station, this is Houston ACR. That concludes the event. Thank you.
Thank you to all participants from AFP. Station, we are now resuming operational audio communications.